Stroke, a condition that happens when blood supply to a part of the human brain is disrupted, is a fatal health condition which affects millions in many countries annually. In order to promote awareness about this deadly health problem, October the 29th of every year is the day set aside in the world to unite individuals, healthcare professionals, and organizations to share knowledge and advocate for improved stroke care. Besides creating awareness, the day is also observed to highlight the risk factors and what can be done in the crucial moments immediately after an individual suffers a stroke. World Stroke Day is celebrated with a specific theme selected by the World Stroke Organization every year. This year's theme has been designated Together We're Greater Than Stroke. Earlier, we're joined on the news by a medical doctor at Dove Hospital, Dr. Philip Oragui, who shed more light on stroke.
I'm a stroke survivor, as you know. I had a stroke at 23. Um, about, I think,
Now, join us to further discuss this. We're joined by a medical practitioner, Dr. Adekunle Abiona. One welcome to you, Dr. Abiona, and thanks for joining us on NC Continental Prime.
dressing up for a celebrity basketball
Good
event,
evening.
and all of
Good
that.
having myself here. Thank you very much.
We're glad to have you join us, Dr. Abiona. What are the common risk factors for stroke that you have observed among patients in Nigeria? And how can individuals better manage or reduce these risk factors?
It was harsh, you know, and it took my
Well,
family
the
almost
commonest risk factor that I have seen so far is
to
obesity.
medical attention.
When you there's a human being has a very high BMI and has, and the body now has to pump blood around the body in a very with a higher pressure, then it can also in turn cause some compromise in blood supply to the brain and then cause a stroke ultimately. Another risk factor is also smoking, which is also getting on the very, very high side now. You know, Before it wasn't this high, but now smoking is also now very high. So two very high risk factors: obesity and smoking. Then also some other genetic factors can come in. Hypertension, also some diabetes also can also be risk factors. Then the fact that we are African Americans or the fact that you are black is also a risk factor to make you prone to having stroke. So how do you mitigate this now? Attention has to be paid to the family history. When there's a family history of hypertension or there's a family history of diabetes,
Hmm.
attention has to be paid to it to do regular checkups. If smoking has to be stopped, you know, I usually tell people that there's no benefit to smoking of any sort. So smoking has to stop, and then obesity also has to be checked. Mostly eating healthy meals and doing lots of exercises. These are also very good ways to mitigate.
Now, Dr. Abiona, what are the available stroke treatment options and rehabilitation services available in Nigeria? And what improvements are needed to enhance stroke care in the country?
Well, I would say I say this all the time to my patients and to everybody that cares to listen. If you take a stroke patient to the hospital in the first 24 hours, that patient is likely to survive totally and be able to use his or her body parts effectively. You know, so having if you're able to do that, yeah, then the person will recover properly. But
In the first
also,
24
some
hours?
people we are not, yeah, in the first 24 hours, yeah, there's a high, very, very high likelihood that this person will recover fully without any problem. But then we are not oblivious of the fact that people have myths attached to this to stroke. People say it's not a hospital problem. People say you shouldn't take injections. These are all myths. Doesn't there's no backup to it medically, and I believe after if the person is not able to make it to the hospital in the first 24 hours, then post treatment can also be some form of physiotherapy, which is very important therapy is very important. And then also, well, coming to how we can make it better, I believe the the main thing we need to do is to educate people so that they don't even get to that point. Because when when the person gets to that point of having stroke, so many other things can happen. Apart from the fact that the person can lose function of the part of the body that the brain supplies, the person can also, it can also lead to some form of untimely death. So having gone through this cascade now up to the point of death, it's important to note that it can be prevented from the beginning, and let's place emphasis on education and prevention. So that's what I think we could do better going forward.
Now, finally, Dr. Abiona, how can the Nigerian healthcare system work towards increasing awareness of stroke and its prevention methods?
Well, the health system, has to put some form of subsidy or some form of increased awareness with help from every all and sundry in regular checkups, checking blood pressure, checking blood sugar, and checking cholesterol. These things, if we can get it right in checking these things, we can at least stem most of it, if not all of it, most of the cases that would have led to a stroke can be stemmed from that angle. Because I mean, the health system, we agree, is already overwhelmed anyway. But then, if we can get help from everybody available, both doctors, nurses, a lot of awareness, helping to check blood pressure of people, helping to check blood sugar for people, and also checking their blood cholesterol too, vis-a-vis educating them on healthy living. And that way, I think we can make some progress.
Thank you so much for your insights on this very important subject, Dr. Kunle Abiona. It was a pleasure speaking with you.
Thank you.